The 1988 movie Willow starts off with the pre-tag, it's a time of dread, and there's some prophecy that is foretold of the birth of a child who is supposed to bring about the downfall of a powerful witch queen called Baphomet.
They raised me to be evil.
This queen basically reinvents the story of Moses, killing all children who are girls and who have a special mark on their arm. But one of the desperate mothers pleads the old midwife, Ethna, to please take and hide her baby. I can feel the desperation in her voice. So the sweet old lady Ethna's like, all right, you got it. I'll hide your baby, and specifically your baby, not the other thousands of women who came in here and gave birth before you. The queen walks right by her, and she's like, you frickin' ginger, where's your baby? Ethna takes care of the baby and travels a far way. She's so happy until one day some dogs sent by the queen chase down Ethna, but she already set up a plot device to see the baby off, and it was a ramp that she made ahead of time specifically for this. The baby's drifted off into the river while the dogs go and eat Ethna, and I find it very rich. The dogs bite her on the right arm that I guess they did not prepare ahead of time to hide, so it was very obvious that the actor has a biting glove on so the dogs can bite her and not hurt her. You can see in earlier scenes her hand is uncovered, doesn't have a very big glove on it to prevent dog bites. Now, miraculously, it does. Unless she planned for it, this makes no freaking sense. Also, she has a big old stick, but doesn't swing it at them when they come to bite her. What did she think the stick was there to do? She's lived with the queen. She knows exactly how these dogs operate. But yet your defense mechanism is to hold the stick over your head in one position and not use it. How divine. Can't help but think it would have been better also if you had lived a little bit longer so you could lead the dogs in a completely opposite direction. So you know the queen and her men can't find you there, and then suppose that you got rid of the baby by pushing it down the river. Something that most people would probably do. Anyway, Laura goes off and is later found by a Nelwyn family. All the dwarves in this movie are called Nelwyns. And surprisingly, the kids are not as insufferable as they are in other movies. The kids go to tell their father that they found something in the river. And dude, I've seen this person before. He's so handsome. And even now, he's still got his looks. It's just weird seeing how young these people were. But as soon as he sees it, he's like, it's not like us, it's a daikini baby, which is basically a word for human in their world, or regular-sized human. The prefect, or the largest dwarf in the town, comes to harass our main character, who we know now as Willow Ufgood. He is such a bully to him. I like the look on his face though. Very intimidating. And he apparently wants his land and yada yada. Willow comes back, and to his horror, his wife has taken to the baby. The baby has a mark on her arm, the very one the queen was looking for. Despite his feelings of consternation, Willow actually really likes the baby, and the baby's such a great actor even at this age. At the Nelwyn Festival, Willow tries to do his magic because he wants to be a sorcerer, but he's not a very good one. And every time he tries, he ends up failing at his presentations. The great sorcerer Nelwyn in the village wonders when he will choose an apprentice. Tells him to pull a finger. Willow hesitates and changes his mind, and he chooses the wrong finger, and thus there's no apprentice. But how do we know if he's lying? How do we know if he just doesn't want an apprentice? How do we know which is the right finger? Even if you change up the answer every year, how do we have any way of proving that you're not senile and that you actually had a finger in mind? Anyway, the village is attacked by these dogs in costumes that are sent by the queen and looking for the baby. The Nelwyns end up fighting it off. The beast doesn't stand a chance. After they defeat it, they do the right thing and check if it's dead. Why don't people do that in movies now? Feeling worried about his wife, Willow goes back to see his wife Kaya, and she's safe with the baby. He says he can't keep the baby, but when they go to the village council, and they all know that someone is looking for a child, they say whoever is responsible for bringing this upon them, that they'll torture to no end. Willow's about to leave, but the sorcerer calls him back. He tells him the truth. So the sorcerer sends him on a journey because he likes Willow, and tells him that the bones that he uses for prophecies don't really mean anything. A lot of trust you have in this person. How do you know he's not going to tell anyone if you don't pick him next year? Mikosh volunteers, who looks like a dark-haired, shorter version of James Franco, to go with Willow and the baby on the journey to give it to the first daikini they see. And because the prefect has a big mouth, he is chosen as a leader to this journey, much to his despair. The sorcerer gives Willow some acorns that turn things to stone. Meanwhile, the queen gets a warrior assassin person to find the baby and dispose of it. The daughter says she doesn't need any help. Sorcerer is the most loyal soldier and warrior, and she will find this baby for her mother. The mother's advisor tells her that the daughter will betray her one day, and the mother's like,
nah, it'll be fine.
This journey is indeed a dangerous one. And when they see a daikini locked in a cage, demanding water with an interesting and quirky and and very mysteriously con artist personality, the rest of the dwarves are like, okay, I'm out. Burglecut tells Willow that his fields could be planted in the meantime while he's wasting time with this baby. After debating whether or not this prisoner should take the baby, the rest of them leave, but Migosh decides to stay with Willow. Willow tries to get several horsemen's attention, even though you don't know whether or not they're criminals either, that had just not been put in prisoner cages yet. That's when everyone sees an army coming, and we meet some soldier named Erk. He acts like he's friends with his prisoner, and then he's like, you're a thief, man, see ya. The man called Mad Mardigan, good grief.
You okay?
Mad Martigan? Not to hell with it. He's released. Willow gives him the baby. Later, he sees some really small people riding a freaking hawk or eagle, falcon, whatever it is, bird of prey, and they're carrying the baby. Later, they're caught by these people, these very small people called brownies, and apparently they stole the baby from the Daikini, aka Mad Mardigan. A forest spirit comes from out the trees and tells them to let them go. Man, the freaking CGI was rough. Thumbelina here kisses what's-his-face on the nose, and this woman that looks like Cher mixed with Madonna is like, and Laura, the baby, that's her name, and she wants you to be her guardian, even though she knows you have a family and kids of your own. She knows that you have the courage to help us. And she can understand the baby, because of course she can.
Laura Dallin must survive and bring about the downfall of Queen Battlemorda.
This whole thing feels like a fever dream. Bitch, why are you so close? Anyway, she flies off into the darkness. Willow tells Migosh to go home. And he's like, oh my gosh, thank you. I'll see you later, man. You not coming? Nope. Alright, deuces. The brownies, Frangine, and Rule accompany Willow on his journey to this mysterious island that has a very powerful sorceress on it, one that the queen had banished a long time ago. They stop at a brothel, and he asks them for milk for the baby, and they don't care. While the brownies are playing around, one of them gets hit with their fairy dust that they're carrying, which makes them fall head over heels for things. This guy falls in love with the kitty.
Kiss you.
Willow then accidentally rolls into a room where a woman is freaking out because if her husband comes back in the room and catches the guy there, they'll both be dead. The guy, who she's dressing up to look like a woman, happens to be Mad Mardigan. Willow's angry with him for losing the baby and feels bad for trusting him, even though he was in a freaking cage as a prisoner when you met him, and you're shocked that he didn't honor his word. The freaking hulking husband comes in, and he's like, where is he? And she's like, is this my friend, my cousin, Hilda? And even though the husband is very angry because he thinks his wife is sleeping with someone else, and he's concerned about this man being in there and he wants to kill the man, as soon as he realizes that it's a woman and it's his wife's cousin no less, he starts hitting on her and asks her if she wants to breed.
Wanna breed?
Tempting, but no.
I don't think he's gonna take no for an answer. Interesting. Such a nice and erotic way to ask someone if they'd like cunnilingus. Would you like to breed? What are we, horses? Well, the warriors come in, and it's discovered that Mad Mardigan is not a woman, is actually a man. Sorsha, the witch queen's daughter, knows that it's a man because of how powerful he is. He is stricken by her beauty. The man realizes that Mad Mardigan's not a woman and loses his mind. Mad Mardigan flees with Willow and the baby and the brownies, but he's a good fighter and he loses them. I hate that they keep using this dumb scream. I know this is an old-ass movie, but they use the same sound effect like 3 times in this movie alone. Willow's angry at Mad Mardigan because he was endangering the baby, which is very ungrateful because he essentially just saved your lives. Unfortunately for Mad Mardigan, Willow and the brownies happen to be going exactly where the baby's going. Meanwhile, the queen is frustrated that old caveman here can't find the baby. God damn those eyebrow ridges. It's a freaking IKEA shelf over here on his freaking face. Is that real? Cause god damn, dude doesn't need any umbrellas. How would he even wear glasses? The glasses would wear him. Willow practices with a wand that the forest fairy woman had given him, even though he doesn't know how to use it. They find a boat, and Mad Mardigan goes on his way. Frangine and Rule take their rinky-dooky turdy boat to the island, and then they meet Raziel. But she is now a brush-tailed possum, turned this way by the evil queen. She keeps saying how she's a powerful sorceress and will put an end to the queen, but yet she let the queen turn her into this and banish her to this island. So how exactly is she going to do that? You know what I'm saying? Track record isn't exactly strong with this one, but oh well.
Isn't she beautiful?
Okay, you're creeping me out. She tells Willow to turn her back, using the magic wand into her original form. She's surprised that he's not a sorcerer. He says he's a farmer. She badmouths Sherlindra, the fairy light angel wannabe spirit sprite forest light thing and says that she has to teach him real magic then. But they don't get a chance because the horses have come. They captured Mad Mardigan, who is forced to tell them the whereabouts of the baby. But it's discovered that it doesn't seem as though he actually told them anything.
Keep your mouth shut. I told you we'd find him without your help.
The woman Sorsha's like, see, I know, And she absolutely despises this man. The brownies are left behind and they're too small to keep up with those horses. Makes me wonder what happened to the bird they were flying on. While they're captured, Raziel tries to teach Willow some magic words on the fly. The soldiers bring their new captors to their camp, and this is where they reconvene. At night, knowing that this woman is a sorceress, apparently there's no guards on duty. Once again, Raziel tells him that she must be transformed to her human form. Don't know why she goes inside the cage to do so, because if you turn back into your human form, won't you be trapped like they are? Raziel tells them to take Elora and the baby to Tir Asleen. She then bites Willow, and after being bitten by what is going to be a very painful bite, Willow has the most numb reaction ever.
Ow! What'd you bite me for?
Either he doesn't have many nerve endings on his fingers, or he has a wicked high pain tolerance. Raziel then tells him that he needs 3 drops of his blood to put into the potion. He rubs his blood on the wand, which is confusing, because when you mentioned potion, I didn't think that it meant jerking off the wand, but sure, why not? On cue, the brownies arrive. Don't know how they would have made it there, even if it took all day. Willow must not be interrupted when he's doing the spell, but then immediately after, Raziel interrupts by speaking. It doesn't work, and she ends up turning into another animal, a crow. While the brownies are trying to break them out of the cage, Mad Mardigan tries to help, but he is beaten with the fairy dust, or the dust of broken hearts. It causes him to fall deeply in love with Sorsha, who's lying on her bed, and with how curly her hair is, trust me, I would know, it wouldn't make any sense for her to go to bed like this, because her hair would wake up a complete matted mess. Mad Mardigan proceeds to feel her up in her sleep, even though they don't know each other, and he thinks something is wrong with him, but he's like, I can't help it. Sorsha, I love you! She sticks a knife in his groin and tells him to get away from her, but he keeps saying how much he loves her. And this man that she's never met, all of a sudden she falls in love with him just because he said some poetry and because she's obviously really thirsty for some frankfurters. She gets very angry when she realizes she's been tricked, but it's your own damn fault for believing someone you think is a criminal just because he flattered you with some words. Where's your father? Obviously you never had any male attention, which doesn't make any sense, but she's mad at him and not herself. They get away in a sled and Sorsha keeps looking after them as if she's in a freaking Victoria's Secret commercial. Every time she stares at him, it's like she's posing for one. Willow and Mad Mardigan with the baby in the dummy form that's in front of Mad Mardigan right there, because we know that is not Willow, crash into a little village. There they find the previous soldiers, Mad Mardigan's frenemy, hiding. Princess Sorsha and her men try to look for them, and they hear the baby crying. But the crow, Raziel, comes in trying to act like a baby, so they're confused about where the sound is coming from. But none of that works, because the princess ends up going down first so she can get freaking capture, which is so freaking stupid. Why would she have a horde of guards and knights and soldiers with her and go down into dangerous, mysterious places head first without sending someone? How dumb. Mad Mardigan and Willow take off with Sorsha as hostage, while the gold armor soldiers who are friends with Mad Mardigan are the supposed good guys fight behind and take out her guards. Sorsha's still salty about falling for Mad Mardigan's trick, but he says it wasn't a trick. He actually felt like that in the moment, and he doesn't understand why. She beats him and gets away, but Willow's calling them because they don't have time. Mad Mardigan ends up letting her go. When they get to Tir Asleen, Mad Mardigan is angry because all the people have turned to stone. Bavmorda has done this to them, all of them entrapped in ice or whatever the hell they're in. As he's cursing Willow out, Mad Mardigan steps in some real yuck.
Oh! Ew! Dude! What the fuck?
Trolls. Stepped in troll shit. This movie is a cute little adventure that has its very goofy moments, but then it just devolves into insanity near the end. The dialogue is weird, the action is worse. So Raziel the sorceress, who is currently a crow right now, implores Willow to change her back into her human form.
Willow, the wand, turn me back into my human form.
Are you sure?
Don't know why he's asking if she's sure. Yeah, she's sure. But then in the next scene, as though these two things were shot completely separately and one was forgotten in, Willow says this. It's like this is the same dialogue, but they rewrote the script to something that made more sense, but forgot to take the previous dialogue out.
Honey, Willow, transform me.
I can't do it. I'm just not a sorcerer.
But you can be.
See what I mean? Raziel tells Willow to speak the magic words that she taught him, but we didn't see her teaching him any more than 2 words. Yet throughout the movie, he knows dozens of words and then can start speaking fluent whatever language is required for the magic spells.
Tie!
Oh, Willow, you're losing me. idiot.
He's the idiot. You're the one that keeps trusting him to do this. He is an idiot, but still. Mad Mardigan puts on some armor he found inside, and within the space of time it takes for them to do everything, he starts setting up all these traps. That's impossible with the time that's given for one person to set up. Oh no, turns out the troll is still there. Willow puts down Alora and is attacked by the troll. Willow uses the wand on the troll. The shit starts coming out of him, and it peels off the fur into this blood wart thing, and two creatures start coming. Ugh. What is wrong with these freaking 80s movies? Ugh. Willow's just as disgusted, and he kicks it into the water, and it plops down in there. Then all the warrior people come in, but yet, it only took that small amount of time for Mad Mardigan to be completely prepared and have all these booby traps set up. Then the thing that was in the water turned into this big freaking How to Train Your Dragon steampunk dragon. And honestly, the dragon doesn't look too bad, but eats a whole bunch of the soldiers. It's just a gigantic Super Smash Brothers battle map. How did Mad Mardigan set all of that up in that very short space of time? Willow remembers his acorns that can turn things into stone, and he ends up dropping one. Very nice. The troll ends up falling through the bridge, and Willow is hanging onto the troll's foot. We can see him hanging onto the troll's foot. There's no way for him to pull himself up, but the dragon sees the troll and Willow, and we didn't see Willow jump off. Did you? It just shows that Willow is nowhere, but wait, there's some randomness taking place in this really sloppy movie, because in one cut, there's this random face. Who is that? Just hanging in midair on the pier. I don't think that's Willow. How did it get there? This movie's so sloppy. Dragon eats the troll, which has a lighter skinned face than it did before. Where's Willow, you ask? Willow just happens to be hanging on. So I guess that thing, that random face that we saw that wasn't even moving, was meant to be Willow. While Mad Mardigan's fighting off everyone by himself, ridiculously, Sorsha is just enthralled by him, and the entire battle, she doesn't fight. She just stands there staring at him because she's in love with this person whom she does not know, but all of a sudden has a woman boner for because he flattered her, and because he looks hot, or because her acting chops are just done at this point. There's so much chaos going on. The troll's attacking Willow, the dragons are attacking Mardigan. Sorsha's just staring the entire time. It's so annoying. These trolls are supposed to be scary, but yet they never do anything to make you feel as though we are to fear them, except for shitting and us stepping in their shit by accident. Like, what is the purpose of them being here? We could have left out the trolls quite easily, but they needed to give Willow something to do. These creatures came from the trolls, but yet they eat the troll. What are they supposed to? What is happening? Sorsha keeps staring and staring and staring, and she pulls him up and kisses him. Wow. This feels forced as hell. Oh my god, you flattered me like a million other men must have, and I saw you fighting everyone by yourself like I've seen a million of my men do, because they're amazing warriors that have more training than you do and are probably hotter as well. But for whatever reason, you're just giving me main character energy. Sheesh. While they're kissing, one of the monsters, I don't know, something happens to it. I guess someone, I don't know what happens, but it goes blast, and then one head blows up and the other one dies as well. Don't know why. The gold armor people come with the brownies in tow, but it's too late because the big assassin dude took the baby. So now Sorsha's on their side too. They show up to the Queen Bravmordia's castle. She's mad because her daughter turned against her, and she laughs at them because it's freaking stupid, and she turns them all into pigs, including her daughter. She looks so hurt and betrayed, but regardless, she's like, no, you're a pig too, bitch. This is the time. Willow must use the wand to turn back the sorceress.
Use the scepter, child. Protect yourself.
Why?
Just do it.
What do you mean, why? Is Willow stupid or something? Clearly. I mean, half of the shit this character says throughout the movie and the things he does just scream lunacy. Why is the goat so freaking thin? Half of its body is freaking Skeletor, and the rest of it looks like a random rib cage with a curtain draped over it. And when did he learn this shelter chant? He's never had to use it before. He's messed up every spell he's tried to do. He's forgotten the words to spells, and we've never actually seen her teaching him how to use these magic spells, or even how to memorize them, or what these magic spells even were, because they have not had a break to even do any of that. So how the hell does he know the shelter spell? Whatever the hell that is. And if he's so bad at doing all the other spells, how is he supposed to do another spell that is just as intensive as trying to change her back into her human form? Plot armor. Plot thickness. Also, forget Willow seeing everybody being pigs. Bavmorda now has the baby. If from the beginning of the movie, her whole shtick was trying to find every girl and killing them, every baby girl that was born around that time, why would she have the baby in her possession at this moment and not kill it? Like, you spend the better part of the movie wanting her dead. Now, when you finally get her, the plot has conveniently changed into taking the baby to do a ritual to send her spirit into some other world. Okay? Why? Willow says that Bavmorda is too powerful.
It's too powerful, Roselle.
Transform me, and I'm destroying her.
Goat's a good actor, though. Seriously, this sorceress says this multiple times, and we get the suspense and buildup of not having her be in her human form, because we know that once she transforms into her regular form, she will be able to beat this other witch. So finally, we get some eldritch horrors, while Willow is trying to transform her back into her original form. He starts off chanting in English, but then chants in this other language, which is like, why'd you start chanting in English just to chant in the other language? If it's easier for you to do the English and you've done it in English and it works as part of the spell, why not just do the whole thing in English? Raziel says to believe in the words, and the most important thing she says is to never break your concentration. Don't break your concentration. You must concentrate. Every other time Willow has tried to do the spell, people were always talking or interrupting him. So now that there's nobody else in the room except for him and Raziel, he should be able to concentrate and do the spell.
Believe in the words.
Tuatha.
Concentrate.
Locked water. Locked water. Stanu.
Willow.
Locked water, Laura.
Oh my god, how is he supposed to concentrate with your constant yapping? You literally said to him, you need to concentrate, yet you were fucking talking every fucking second. How is he supposed to concentrate? Everyone else is supposed to shut up except for you. You know how distracting that is when you're not an actual sorcerer or you're not skilled at something and you're trying to concentrate on doing it and someone is balking in the background?
Unless they balk too.
What in the world? Anyway, she turns back into her original form, and she's an old woman because it's been very, very long.
We have work to do.
So Raziel, this powerful sorceress, lets all the pigs back in, and she sets up something and turns them back into human. Meanwhile, this ritual is taking so freaking long because they're trying to build up some kind of anticipation because they're giving, I guess, Willow and his friends enough time to come and save the baby. I mean, you have the baby. It should be dead by now. It just makes me not take this queen seriously. Raziel says that the queen can't transform you anymore because my spell is protecting this camp. She says if the baby dies, the hope is lost for the future. The soldiers are sent out by the queen to attack what's left, but then they have dug throughout the night these holes that all the horses were hiding in. How? I mean, there's people watching on the tower of the queen's castle, so unless they thought all the pigs were dead, or they thought everyone was dead, and even if you thought so, why wouldn't you go out there still to make sure, since you haven't seen Raziel? This is the same queen that was very thorough and killed every girl baby born at a certain time, even though the baby didn't have a mark, but didn't check to make sure that everybody was dead. And they would have gotten all their horses back. A lot of the horses ran away in the night. So where did they get the horses from? They would have had to have gone or called back their horses or go find all their horses back. Wouldn't that have caused a stir and made a lot of noise? What, are there no soldiers on duty for the castle in case someone tries to take it over or invade the castle? There was when they walked up to it, but now magically the soldiers are like, okay, well these guys are gone, even though we know there's a horde of people that were just there only moments ago. Maybe they don't have any more waves. I guess we're off duty now in our night and our watch has ended. It makes no freaking sense, and everything here is just for plot convenience. Well, Mad Mardigan and the others cut down the little bit of soldiers that are there. They enter the castle. The queen takes her time in doing this ritual because she's giving the main characters time to come and find her. Sorcia goes up with Raziel and tells her she cannot let her kill this baby, but the queen is upset. She calls her a traitor and that she needs to hate her now and sends the guards after her to kill her. But Sorcia's a badass, and so she kills all the warriors very easily and very quickly. And her mother's like, well, shit. Her mother sends her away, and before she's impaled in the spikes, Raziel saves her. Raziel, the most powerful sorceress, is here now, and we're expecting her to do her due. Take care of this queen once and for all.
Powers have gained in strength, Roselle. I have Shalindria's wand, Bavmorda.
Why would you say that? If anything happens and that person gets the upper hand, now they know why you're so powerful. So what's to stop them from trying to take it? What is it with these stupid characters? You know, you gotta give this because this movie is an old ass movie, but people are still doing stuff like this today. Like in the Doctor Strange movie, you know, doing that thing where they tell villains exactly how to defeat them.
Wanda, Black Bolt could destroy you with one whisper from his mouth.
What mouth?
This was supposed to be the smartest man in the entire world. This sorceress was supposed to be alive a long time, but I guess I can't blame her because they did show her as being an idiot in this movie because she is not as powerful as she claims to be, since she allowed Magmortia to be able to banish her. But let's just play it up and say it's because she has the wand now. That means that she's essentially useless without it. So why again would you tell the villain, who is infinitely more powerful than you without one, that that's the source of your freaking power? The stupid Raziel lady goes over to the queen after she's thrown her. You have a wand. Why are you not making sure she is dead? So she does all this stupid oh my god. This character deserves to die at this point. She stupidly goes over to where the queen is lying down instead of using a spell to turn her into a pig or something else while she's unconscious. And this dumb old lady, knowing the wand is the most powerful thing, uses it first to put close to this woman who can easily grab you and catch you off guard, which is exactly what happens. And the wand gets tossed away. Raziel can't be that powerful if she is having a hard time putting up with this queen she sought to destroy. Willow sees Allura, and Magmortia chokes out Raziel. That's not how people die. That's not how people pass out either when they're strangled. Queen's like, give me the baby. And Willow's like, no. And Willow tells her that he's a great sorcerer and throws one of the acorns that she catches, and her hand starts turning into stone. I personally would have thrown it at her head, but that's just me. Then like nothing, she just shakes it off.
Get that dirt up your shoulders. I probably owe it to y'all.
So everyone thinks that she's gonna die, but oh no. Even though she looks Hagrid now, it has no effect. She says she's gonna send the child into the netherworld and you're gonna watch and put it on the altar. Why does she think that Willow would listen to her when he's trying to give his life to save her? So Willow's like, you know what? With my magic, I'm gonna send her to a place where no evil can ever touch her. The evil queen says that's impossible to do. She's gonna kill him and the child. He does some chanty-wanty. Whoa, so wait a second. Okay, did she just freaking telekinesis the freaking wand? What in the troll taint? Okay, maybe it's because another woman is dead, hashtag unconscious, but if you had the power, like the queens were fighting over the wand before, and it was so easy for Raziel to drop the wand before, that means there's no spell or magic preventing the other queen from getting it. So she could have used the telekinesis the whole time when Raziel dropped the wand due to her being a freaking idiot to call it over to herself. But instead, she crawls over there. Why didn't she use her telekinesis at that moment? As a matter of fact, I don't even see how this makes sense because Raziel has proven she's not actually as powerful as she claims to be unless she has the wand. So since it's not in her freaking hand, this woman over here that is the ultimate sorceress could have used her telekinesis at that time. But oh no, when the script decides that it's necessary, that's when all of a sudden she has telekinetic powers when it concerns the wand. She turns them off at will, and then when the plot needs her to not have them, she forgets that she does. Using his old cheap trick of magic that he does at the festival, he makes the baby disappear. And after he makes Allura disappear, the queen's like, oh, snap, how? How'd you do that? Oh my god. Then she gets super mad, and instead of using the wand, she trips over stuff and activates it, and then the blood does something with the lightning at the exact same time she's doing this, and she turns into a red cloud of smoke, and the lightning sucks her through the hole in the ceiling. Raziel's like, I'm the shit. Sorsha wakes up at the exact time that he defeats her. Raziel wakes up at exactly that time as well. All the other supporting characters wake up. Madmartigan comes in. I mean, all three people. How convenient is this? Sorsha's still freaking hungry for some buffalo peen. Oh my god, we don't know each other, and my mother just died, and even though I love her so much my entire life, and I've always been on her side, and we had a great relationship, just watching her die before me, even though she's in a fit of madness, I don't give one damn, and all I care about is kissing you now. Willow's a hero, and even though he just did a magic trick, and in fact he had hid the baby somewhere else and was pretending, Raziel says he's on his way to becoming a great sorcerer. her. And I guess she gives him some book. Everyone celebrates, the kingdom is free. Laura says goodbye. They give Willow a small horse to ride on. And when he gets back home, all the other Nelwynds are happy to see him. By the way, Mad Mardigan is a good friend and has redeemed himself completely in this movie, and even pledged himself to the Nelwynds because he hadn't pledged himself to anyone before. At the end, finally, Willow is able to perform a trick. He is a sorcerer that everybody didn't think he could be. His wife and kids are happy to see him, and he lives happily ever after. The end. This movie was a fun adventure, but man, was it a messy movie. Even still, with all of its faults, I would say the faults make up about 70% of the movie. All the characters, every single one of them, were colorful and endearing. Each character stood on their own, and I completely remember who they were. Thanks so much for watching. This has been Ultiori. You ask, we answer.